Good morning, you beautiful brothers and sisters wrapped in this glorious sun-kissed skin. And good morning to those of you that have not necessarily been kissed by God's Son, but you're full of his presence. You're conscious and woke. Good morning to you. Today, I am drinking ginger and turmeric tea. So today's black tea is going to be that. It's not technically black tea, but we still gonna sip. Just FYI, y'all been asking me, the ginger is good for congestion and drainage, mucus. The turmeric is good for digestion and inflammation. I'm not really experiencing either, but that's because I drink it. All right. Let's talk about Brett Kavanaugh very quickly. I won't spend a lot of time on him. He got confirmed. Y'all see his wife, though? It's on my page. He beat her in the back, as my friend said, like a German shepherd. Boom, boom, boom. Don't say a word. Don't speak. Don't utter. She looked terrified, scared. Maybe because Trump was there too, and she didn't know if they were going to, pull off in some White House closet and skin her, and Melania will be wearing her like last year's Versace. She did look scared though. Bless her heart. Send up some timber for her. That brings me to my other point. Black women. Yoo-hoo. Black women. Stop getting on the white woman's bandwagon. Yes, we do share the same struggles. Agreed. And yes, we do need to unite at times. But we have issues that are not theirs. And they are not readily on the bandwagon with us. Some are. Don't misunderstand what I'm saying. I've always said the civil rights movement was not just black people. It was people of all ilks, walks of life, races, ethnicities, and religions. So I'm not making light of that at all. I want to be real clear. Yoo-hoo, black women, stop doing that though. You know why I'm saying that? Because Christopher Daniels, who lives in Dallas, Texas, where I live, is the first to be convicted for black identity extremism. Black identity extremism. Do you know what that translates to? Someone who sees about their community. Someone who speaks out against injustices. Someone who stands against police brutality. Yoo-hoo! That ain't the white woman struggle. They locking our husbands, our children, our brothers, our fathers up for believing in us as a people, trying to organize and do something about it. You know what he did? He organized food drives. He did teach self-defense, and he did say be armed under the state statute of open carry. He spent 5 months in prison before a judge released him for black identity extremism. I'm quiet because I'm trying to let that soak in. Keep in mind that Dallas, Texas was the springboard. The first organized chapter of the Ku Klux Klan was in Dallas, Texas. Christopher Daniels was the first in Dallas, Texas. Y'all ain't scared yet? So, I'm always talking about politics. I don't believe that anything that affects our lives is separate and apart from the political atmosphere or climate of the day. So we're here. Let me say this. My grandmama used to say, you either for me or against me. Black people, when the people that look like us are not working for us, they are against us. There is no shade of gray when we are trying to demand the acknowledgement of our humanity. That brings me to this DA race. Y'all got races all over the United States. I'm in Dallas. Let's talk about this particular race. Cruzo is going against the incumbent Faith Johnson. I don't never call his first name. He doesn't like black people. I know him. I've even had a meeting with him. kind of wanting my help. Those of you that know what I do, you know what that means. I'm not working the campaign. Faith Johnson is a Republican. She doesn't really talk about it because black people feel some kind of way about the Republicans, and rightfully so. But Faith has been around, regardless of how you feel about her, regardless of how I feel about her. I cannot disavow the fact that Faith has been around. She's been here in the church. Concord is her church. Pastor Brian Carter is her pastor. She is entrenched in the fabric of this community, the black community, where 52% of the vote comes from in Dallas County. 52% comes from the black side of town. It's often been said that this is not a red county, it's a no voting county. When we vote, the Republicans don't win. All right, that's all I'm going to say about that, because let me go back to Cruzo. I've seen Cruzo several times before and after I've met with him. He has never parted his lips to me, never spoken to me. He doesn't speak to black women. He's divorced from his third white wife. That's fine. Love who you want to love. Be who you want to be. I got no problem with that. Where I live, there are black and white interracial couples. There are white people that live in my area of Oak Cliff. I mean, it's fact of life. Black people live in other areas that are considered predominantly white. That's what happens. However, when you are black and you are a politician and you do not live, work, play, pray on the black side of town, and you just show up when you need something, that's called pandering. And that is the equivalence to what we accuse the white people of doing when we say they're white peopling. It's called pandering. So you have to make up your mind what you want to do about Cruzo. He's running as a Democrat. He's usually a Republican. Full of self-hate. Doesn't like you because you've been kissed by God's glorious kissed by God's glorious son. Sun-kissed skin is what I guess I was putting the two together. And so you have to make up your mind. I can't tell you what to do. I can just kind of give you the facts as I see them. Is Faith the better candidate? I don't know. Is Cruzo the lesser of two evils? Probably. It's kind of like Trump and Hillary Clinton. See, I'm not a Hillary Clinton fan. She dirty and she shiesty. And she did not win. But Trump, whew, racist, bigot, sexist, elitist, buffoon. But that seems to work for the Republican Party. We should probably all group them together and just say they're all racist, bigots, sexist, elitist, buffoons as a party. They keep telling you they're a party of Abe Lincoln. Some of you colored folks is falling for that. And I'm saying colored intentionally because you have to have a colored slave mentality to fall for someone telling you we are the party of Abe Lincoln, and that's tantamount to saying he freed the slaves so we're not racist, and then everything they do is racist on its face. So those of you that are Republicans, well, do something anatomically impossible to yourself. All right. Now, I want to talk about black people photo opping. I had a very interesting conversation with Ron Price. And it was all public. It was all on Facebook. So he posted a picture of him and, wait for it, drum roll please, Mike Pence, your vice president, because he's not mine. And the reason he's not mine is because his party is bigot, it's racist, bigoted, sexist, elitist, buffoons. Did I cover them all? And so his statement was, I have had the opportunity to speak with Vice President Pence about growing businesses for African Americans and funding for HBCUs. It was a photo op, sir. You didn't have time to have a conversation of any kind. Your conversation was, hey, can I get a picture? Hey, I'd really like to know what the White House feels about HBCU funding and more businesses owned by African Americans. If it was that long. Because you had to smile at one point, so you can't talk. Unless you're a ventriloquist. Is he a ventriloquist? I ain't never seen him with no ventriloquist. I've seen him with some dummies, but I ain't never seen him with a ventriloquist doll. So, okay. But I'm simply saying he and I had a debate of sorts. Now, the post has been since taken down. But what he wanted me to know is that he has been working diligently with people on both sides of the aisle to get things done. What he was responding to was an emoji that I posted. The rolling eye emoji and the emoji. I don't know what that's called. Like the breathing out your nose emoji. He responded to that and called me by name. So not only did he reply by hitting the reply button, my name was there. So it was addressed to me specifically. And I responded by asking him what was the blessing in this photo other than to him, because he was telling me, God had blessed him and it was his responsibility to help others, as if I was doing absolutely nothing. See, you need to know who you come for when you come, because I'm not asking for pats on the back. I don't ask for recognition. I quietly do the work of the kingdom, of my ancestors, of my forefathers, of my family, quietly, to the best of my ability. Those of you that are saying, what is that work? Well, I think it's very important that we have the right people in the right position to help us get on the right path. And that's all I'm going to say about that, because I'm not looking for accolades or recognition. But I will say this. When you are asking someone to support your efforts because you are so great and mighty and you working for the people, have something to show them. We asked for the documentation. I asked for statistics. All you had to know was where to go to get them. But the statistics were not going to substantiate your point, and I recognize that. But now let me say this about Ron Price. He didn't back away. He responded to every statement. And there is a certain amount of integrity in that. He was not cowardly in his approach. Now, I could name some other public officials, because he is no longer serving in that capacity as an elected official. I could name some that are cowardly and do not respond and try to dismiss you by simply saying they're not going to entertain you. That's because they're not doing the right thing. They're lining their pockets, they getting pats on the back, and they coming out there telling us something like somebody got their arm up their back and they literally turn into a puppet, and they got a white man being the puppet master behind them. So yes, it's time for us to call them out. It is time for us to speak up, stand up, and say something. And stop allowing black folks to post pictures that are inherently offensive, like Mike Pence, and tell us you working for us, because we are not stupid. We have been quiet. But it is not out of fear, it is out of disgust. But you know what? We've allowed too much to go on too long. Because see, I have older parents. Both of my parents on average are 80 years old. So I have the benefit of having a mother that was working with Juanita Craft and still has the scar on her knee that I've talked about before. When the streetcar trolley would not stop at the Fair Park and let them off, they had to jump off. She fell and skinned her knee. That was the day she was spat upon, because she was insisting with a group of other conscious-minded, civic-minded young people to demand more than one day at the fair, which was Negro Day. I had the benefit of a father who was born in 1935 talking about his East Texas roots and how he came to Dallas at 15 years old and what caused him to come here. I have the benefit of an uncle who now has a technology building named for him in Tyler, Texas. Thirdly, Washington, who worked his way up from a teacher to a principal to a school board member, superintendent, who never forgot that black people need more and fought for black people in Tyler, Texas, and East Texas as a whole. I'm not bragging about what my family's done, because a lot of people's family been in the trenches in this city, in this state. But you don't get any accolades because you were with Mike Pence or Bill Clinton or any other good white man we want to celebrate. Because the proof is in the pudding. We are a people that is hurting, and we need people working for us, not against us, and certainly not photo opping on us. We need people that are entrenched in the fabric of our communities who are asking us for our votes, not just showing up every now and then. We need people who are not going to go out and get some white man in McKinney to run their campaign and not give any money to the people who are here in the trenches, who know what's going on and can deliver you the elected seat you desire. We need people across this great nation that are paying attention to our issues, and when we are educating them about what we need, they're not afraid to go ask for it and find a way to deliver it. That is what we need. We certainly do not need people who are just pandering. Beto O'Rourke is organizing a block walk here. Many of the black people that should be involved in that are not, because Beto O'Rourke is the right choice. He's the right man for the job. But he's got people out of El Paso trying to tell people in Dallas what to do. That's a problem. And they're doing that all over the nation. You got Hillary Clinton's team that's going around the nation trying to tell people about what to do with communication. She lost. Stop running to black people telling them you can help them, because you can't. But we can help ourselves. We can do what needs to be done. I want to give a special shout out before I sign off to Gayon Matthews and Patrice Withers-Steffen. Patrice was kind enough to share with me that these little black tea sips have inspired her in such a way she spent a few hours at the daiquiri shop in Carrollton registering people to vote and talking to them about the issues. We need more of that. We need people who got boots on the ground, who know what our issues are. Mental health is a big issue for black folks. Because I don't know about where you live, but where we live, they'll shoot you in the street, the police department, all you got in your hands is a screwdriver. By the way, the police officer that gunned down the young man and shot him 16 times because he feared for his life when the man was 10 or 15 feet away from him was convicted. Things are changing, but let's not sleep. And let me be real clear about what sleeping looks like. I talked to you about my parents. My parents fought the good fight. They fought in the civil rights movement. They're old enough to have been old enough to participate in the movement. But the next generation, who are my cousins, who are late 50s, early 60s, they did nothing but reap the benefits. So they actually got to go to UT, and they got to go to OU, Berkeley, Duke. You know what else happened? They went to sleep at the wheel. They started getting their offices in the corner and being promoted to director and managing people, and sometimes even VP. Some of them started their own businesses, which were lucrative, and they moved to the suburbs, and their neighbors were no longer the white folks around the corner, but the white folks next door. They started feeling accepted. They started doing Jack and Jill. Okay, I'm a member of Jack and Jill, so before y'all get started, I was a member of Jack and Jill for a little while, and I'm a legacy. We got big into our links and our sorority organizations and our business of professional women and our boule for the men. Hello, somebody. And we forgot that there's no such thing as separate but equal. And so my generation came through, and we started seeing the tide turn. See, I went to a predominantly white high school, and before that I was in a predominantly white private school. But now my grandparents lived in Hamilton Park, and those of you that don't know Dallas, that's black, and South Dallas. And people talk to me about what it means to be wrapped in this sun-kissed skin. So I did not forget. And I had all the benefits and luxuries that educated parents will provide you. And now I find myself talking to my mother when I leave my children to go fight the good fight, and tears well up in her eyes, and she says to me, I protested so you wouldn't have to do this, and I'd be damned if you having to do it anyway. Because that generation before me went to sleep at the wheel. They reaped all the benefits and didn't sow a seed. Now we're having to sow a seed. So now we have young people like Dominique Alexander, 29 years old, that are out here fighting the good fight. That's deplorable. Y'all need to wake up, and y'all need to get active and stop letting these people pander to you, and stop letting these people put these Facebook posts. Stop. Just stop. Because there ought to be tangible evidence of your work. Before y'all try to come for me, let me tell you what I'm working on. I'm trying to move an IT school, nonprofit, from Arlington, where they give you a course where you have a mentor and instructors, and you can work at your own pace to prepare you for IT certification with Microsoft, Cisco, and others, to Redbird Mall, which is in the heart of Oak Cliff, which is considered a socially low economic area. That is what I'm working on. So when we start talking about what have we done, you don't need a pat on the back. Put your boots on, strap up, and let's get at it. Yes, we need people registered to vote. We do need that, but we need much more. I'm a member of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. My shirt says Silver Star because I have been a member for over 25 years. But you know what? The days of Rosa Parks in the 1908 fight that started our whole illustrious organization, those kinds of mindsets, framing it and putting together and working together in a collaborative effort to bring about change. Because you do know that Rosa was picked. She fit the model. Very fair-skinned, petite, educated, member of this great organization. It was pre-planned to move the needle forward. We don't do that anymore. I love AKA, but writing letters saying this is how we feel, we got to do more. We need to be protesting. We need to be demanding things from Trump, because we are 350,000 members strong. Come on, Delta Sigma Theta. Come on, Sigma Gamma Rho. Come on, Zeta Phi Beta. Come on, Jack and Jill. Links, business professional women. Out. Where you at? Alphas, Kappas, Qs. Where you at? That's what we should be doing. Writing a letter all together and sending it when we are not saying we're not going to purchase this, we're not going to participate in that. We have not demonstrated our outrage. Putting pen to paper is okay. Protesting with your fist in the air, y'all know I'm about that too. If I think we're asking for something, if the protest is aligned with a request, but we're not doing that. We're satisfied. That's fine. You know what? The movement is not for everybody. Like my girl say, somebody got to be out here to post a bomb. So with that being said, yes, participate in a real way. This photo opping, pandering to black people when you black, letting the white folks give you your message, and then go out there and tell us something. We see through all of that. So stop. All right. I ain't even pulled my soapbox out because guess what? My feet were on it the whole time. I pulled it out and got myself ready because I knew I was going to preach and fuss this morning because I'm about tired. Y'all tired too. Let's meet again. Let's talk about it once more. I'll pour a little bit, y'all sip a little bit, and then y'all start telling me because y'all out there, y'all know what's going on. Let's talk about it together. All right. Peace and blessings, brothers and sisters. Now y'all stay black and stay woke.